when we first started doing this show, I asked you a lot about, it was during the offseason, during OTAs and stuff, when the Niners canceled minicamp, cut short the OTAs, had a really light training camp. Bosa didn't participate at all. Kinlaw didn't do anything. I mean, a lot of guys basically didn't do anything. And I was thinking, like, is this any way to get prepared for the season? Well, they started off 3-5. And maybe that'll ultimately ruin where their Super Bowl chances, but they're finishing strong. They're healthier now than pretty much any other contender in the NFC. What do you think? Did it work? I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see. We have some football left to be played. I think this Titans game is a lot more important than people realize because it can be the nail in the coffin to a lot of other contenders in our division, our conference. It's a good team. It's a well-coached team. This, to me, of the games we have played recently, this has playoff vibes. The Titans are in the thick of it. They are a playoff caliber team. This
reminds me of the Arizona games because, like, the Niners lost the Arizona's backup quarterback. They were injured, and the Niners were like, oh, we got this. Just like the Titans. The Titans are down, but they're still a good team. They still have a hell of a defensive line. You better be prepared to play a really tough game and don't just think that Tennessee's going to lay down.
The other thing is Ryan Tannehill is the sniper of all NFL quarterbacks. Against weak corners and against safeties that don't seem to like to get into the thick of things, he might be a lot better in this game than people realize. I predict the only thing that will affect his QBR in this game is Nick Bosa and Samson Ebukam and people like that. They're going to have to get after him.
For sure.
But this game is very important. I feel like the 49ers...
It could come down to which D-line is more disruptive because they have a really good D-line.
Exactly. If the Niners end up going deep into the playoffs, they got lucky with it. Because sometimes it's not the best team. It's the healthiest team and the hottest team. A lot of people feel the 49ers are really hot right now. I'm still not sold. The Bengals lost the game. We did not win it. The Falcons, that's exactly what the score should look like.
BFD, exactly. It's like playing Jacksonville, in my opinion.
Right.
So, yeah, okay.
Still going back to your Cardinals game that you're talking about there. That's what the Niners are.
Right.
Using the Colt McCoy. And then basically the Bengals do every single thing wrong. They look like a middle school football team against us. And we win barely in overtime. And then the Falcons...
You watched the Seahawks last night, right?
Yes, I did.
They freaking
I had
suck.
to watch it after. I had to watch it at like 1 a.m.
They freaking suck. And they beat the Niners twice this year.
Yeah,
so,
but their defense...
Forgive me if I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah, the Seahawks defense is really good. You know, since the midpoint of the season, it's top 5 defense.
Their offense
is... They're averaging 19.9 points per game now.
Their offense is unforgivable, though. Unforgivable.
Oh, absolutely it is. But, I mean, Russell Wilson should not even be playing. Now is when they should actually bench him.
Anyway, let's finish up on this topic. I do think that it's interesting. They did a 180 on their offseason approach. I think it's a big reason they started off 3-5. They had no identity. The first play of the season from scrimmage was a fumble. Remember a fumbled snap? They were not particularly prepared for the first 2 months of the season, but they're peaking at the right time. 2 years ago, they started 8-0 and really limped to the finish. Very interesting to see how this plays out because to me this year there are no great teams. There's a couple good teams maybe. There's a ton of mediocre teams and some bad ones. The Niners are firmly in that mediocre plus range, and if they're healthy, they could win a freaking Super Bowl. Interesting.
The 49ers are 1 strip sack and 1 interception away from advancing in every playoff game. So absolutely, if Bosa has a big game, if the secondary steps up, if Fred Warner gets a pick 6, something like that, the 49ers will win that game because it will turn it over to our run game. And as long as that's half healthy, we seem to be able to win games. So the Niners, yes, you're right. They are healthy at the correct time. Or I should say they're getting healthier. They're not healthy. Elijah Mitchell is still a huge loss. And if he's in that much pain, we need to get through this game without him because we need him for the playoffs. He's the only back we have that is reliable. That is huge to the Shanahan offense. And it allows Deebo Samuel to get free.
Have you watched Jimmy G mic'd up from the last game? I have not. This team is 1,000% behind him, and there's no way a rookie Trey Lance could lead them the way.
I never listened to Jimmy G mic'd up. I'm tired of his usage of the word baby. He has nothing else in his vocabulary.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Exactly. And I'm like, that's not leadership. That's not badass. That's just, dude.
You know what he is to me? He's vanilla. You know? Very vanilla.
Did you ever hear Joe Staley and George Kittle mic'd up about Jimmy Garoppolo?
What? No.
Where they were basically they were hitting on him. I love the confidence in Joe Staley and George Kittle. They were saying, "Oh yeah, he's gorgeous," and they put him
they were talking in that like North Dakota accent,
like a marble statue. He was so great.